Anyway, back to the matchup. Now, we have the number one defense in the NFL, and I think this battle is going to come down. This game is going to come down to our defense versus their offense. Now, Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes, but with that said, though, he hasn't had the greatest season. I mean, he's Patrick Mahomes, so a great season for him is being mediocre for some other quarterbacks. But they still really legitimately only lost one game this season. So they're a great team, deservedly so, and they're going for a three-peat. Or as some people would say, a chief peat, which sounds ridiculous.
Ill. No, no, thank you.
Yeah, I hate that.
Yeah, that ain't right.
No, Eli Manning got the first three-peat, winning the Pro Bowl 3 years in a row, so.
Oh my gosh.
Actually, it came out this week that basketball great Pat Riley owns the trademark to three-peat. Did you hear about that?
Not just one. He owns 6 different versions of the three-peat trademark.
Yep.
Wow, 6 versions. Okay.
Well, yeah, because
anytime anybody says three-peat and they market it, money goes to Pat Riley.
Yes, sir.
All right. Anyway, our defense has to maintain Patrick Mahomes. Now, Patrick Mahomes doesn't rush a lot. We know that. Mm-hmm. But when the game's on the line, he will scramble and he will get the first down. And that gets tricky because he's the master at sliding and getting those calls. Getting those lazy calls. I hate
that so much.
He's the master at it, and they always bite on it. The referees always bite on him. Eagles are going to have to be smart on defense. Be disciplined. Vic Fangio, the refs. I'm not going to talk about much about the refs. I mean,
wait, Maurice, before you continue, real quick, how are you aware of how disciplined Philly's defense has been this year?
Yes, they have a very disciplined defense.
They have been? Okay.
Yes.
All right. Because I haven't really paid attention to that, so I just wanted to ask you to kind of get more insight on that.
Specifically tackling and staying in your lanes and just picking up, especially when you're in man, being in the right spots. Vic Fangio has done a great job of that this season. Listen, he's made Zach Bond, a special teamer, into an all-pro. So Vic Fangio has done the job. Now, I mentioned this last week. It's going to be a battle of the coordinators. And I agree with that. Vic Fangio versus Andy Reid and Spagnuolo versus Kellen Moore.
Giants GOAT.
Yeah.
The only Giant that can stop the Philadelphia Eagles is Steve Spagnuolo, guys. So I'm rooting for him.
Well, he should have. He was never your guy's head coach, was he?
No, he was our defensive coordinator. He won the Super Bowl.
He should have become your guy's head coach.
I think he's one of them guys that just didn't want to be head coach.
He didn't come well into being. It's kind of like Robert Saleh situation. Like, I think Saleh is going to be great with the 49ers as a DC again, but he just wasn't a good head coach. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah. And what's crazy is I think Spagnuolo and Fangio's defenses are very similar. They don't blitz a lot. Either one of them. I think Spags blitzes more than Fangio. I don't think you need to blitz Patrick Mahomes. I think we need to keep everybody in the box and keep him contained in the pocket and let his players beat our players. Now, he doesn't have Rashee Rice. He has Travis Kelce. I actually think Travis Kelce is a little past his prime.
Oh, yeah. He's taking a step back. Yeah. I heard a rumor. I don't mean to interrupt. But if the Chiefs win the Super Bowl, he's going to propose and then he's going to retire.
Really?
That is the rumor that I
heard. Taylor Swift on the field.
That is the rumor, and I want to emphasize rumor that I have heard.
So I don't want to get too far off track at all. But yesterday at Media Day, there was a question to Travis Kelce from a reporter where they were like, who do you love more, Taylor Swift or the 15-yard phantom quarterback roughing the passer penalty? And he was not happy with it. So I'm not sure if he's going to make that situation happen. I think he's getting tired of it, but that's just me thinking here. But in the end, I don't know. We'll see. But he is past his prime.
Yeah. Now, the player that we really need to worry about besides Mahomes is Xavier Worthy. Dynamic player, the fastest combine time ever of all time. what was it, 4.2 or something like that?
Yeah.
I will say this, but you guys have Quinyon Mitchell, and not to belabor the NFC Championship game, but he did a pretty good job overall against Terry.
I would agree with that. So, I'll give you 2 points.
Yeah.
1, speed kills.
Mm-hmm.
And 2, they run a lot of crossing routes.
Mm-hmm.
Something that I would say that's the one thing Quinyon, I'm not saying it's not good at, but he really hasn't seen a lot of because he's always on the outside. Now, if they put him in a slot or anywhere in the middle, that becomes Cooper DeJean area. So that might be the matchup.
Okay.
Cooper DeJean on Xavier Worthy. They're going to try to bottle him. That's the only thing you can do. When he gets out there and he gets open space, it's game over almost. I mean, because he's so fast. But traditionally, they don't have a number one outside guy. I mean, Hopkins is there.
Juju.
And Juju, yes, Juju. And they got Valdez Scantling too, right?
No.
Yeah. No. He's on the Patriots.
No, he's gone. Yeah.
He's gone? Yep. So,
but besides the Chiefs, though, Maurice,
they have Hollywood Brown, don't they?
Yeah, they do have Hollywood Brown.
Yeah.
He's not been healthy.
He's not healthy.
Oh, okay.
I don't think he returned though.
I feel like
might be out for the season.
Regardless of the Chiefs roster, you guys have more players to watch, Maurice.
You guys have the better roster. They have the better
got more depth pieces than the Chiefs have.
Mm-hmm.
So you got more skill guys. Yep.
Well, I mean, that's why I'm confident in this game. We have the star power. We have the better overall players, the skill players. So, I mean, it's really going to come down to, like I said, the coordinators. It's going to be Kellen Moore versus Spags, Fangio versus Andy Reid.
That brings to my question to you, Maurice.
Yep, go ahead.
I wanted to ask you this last week, but who do you have more confident in calling the offense? Kellen Moore or Nick Sirianni?
Nick Sirianni shouldn't even be calling offense.
What if I told you he actually was? And some of the things that's going on that giving Kellen Moore praise is actually under Sirianni.
Earl, are you on the sideline? Are you there? Are you got intel?
Yeah. What information you got?
Yeah. What you got?
If you're looking at how the game plan is schemed, you can at least account for how the passing compared to the running. You could at least say from the time when they were passing at the beginning of the season and after that bye week, when they made that switch to being more of a focal point of a run team, I completely said that, it is more calling the offense, but Sirianni's got more of a control on what is called in the game.
Well, yeah, that's expected. Yeah,
I have a follow-up question, guys, because I didn't know him before he really became the Eagles head coach. Where did Sirianni come from?
That's actually a good question. I don't know either.
He was a receiving coach for the... what team was that he played for?
I never heard of him before he became the Eagles head coach.
He was assistant coach for the Colts.
Oh, the Colts. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. All right. Wow. Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, and before that, he was an assistant coach with the Chargers and Chiefs from 2009 to 2012.
Okay.
So he has a little bit of experience. Okay.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this, Maurice. If Sirianni wins the Super Bowl here, who's going to get more credit? Him or your GM?
I think the GM.
Howie.
Yeah, I think Howie Roseman deserves it. Yeah. Okay.
Our talent is going to win us or lose us this game.
No, your talent will not lose you the game. Nick Sirianni will lose you the game. Your talent will win you the game.
That's not entirely true. If they don't show up, they don't show up. It happens.
Y'all can't see, but Becca has a secret message for us right now.
Yes.
Becca
somebody
says
take a picture of that,
please.
That is amazing.
Take a picture of it.
Yeah.
Cold Foot Locker.
We can't be doing that. We can't. But I love it. I love it though.
She's not wrong.
The guys in the zebras.
The
Besides
zebra
the game, huh?
stripes.
Okay.
Oreos.
That being said, let's get into let's see. What have we talked about? What recently the touchdown?
Yeah, Lucas.
He's not done.
We're still on the players to watch, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Players to watch. Obviously, the obvious one, Saquon Barkley. Now, the Chiefs have allowed over 100 yards, a 101 to be exact, yards rushing this season. If Saquon rushes for $150, I have a high. I'll be very. The Eagles will be in a very good spot to win this game if he rushes for more than 150 yards. Obviously, the two main focuses on our offense is going to be Jalen and Saquon. We go when they go. Everybody else succeeds when they're succeeding. So for Jalen, obviously, just keep up what he's been doing. No turnovers. Remember in the game, the Super Bowl from 2 years ago, he had one major turnover, and that was a backbreaker. Even though it was early in the game, it was a really bad turnover. So, and it was a fumble. So,
Maurice, can I ask you a question?
yeah.
What does this game do for Jalen Hurts if he wins it in terms of not only his long-term legacy among Eagles quarterbacks, but also in the perception of NFL fans currently?
Well, if he wins, he's one of the best quarterbacks of this era. Because you got to take into account who's won Super Bowls in this era: Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes.
We're talking about 2020, right? Where you were saying that's an era.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, 5 years.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I actually have a player to watch, Maurice, that I think is actually going to have a bigger impact than most will think. Dallas Goedert.
Ooh, I like that.
I think Dallas Goedert will have more of an impact in this game. Do I think Saquon's going to have a very good game? I'm giving him at least a touchdown. At least. I think he will at least have a legit one, not a tush-push, okay?
Okay.
Just so I can clarify. A legit, running touchdown I will give Saquon, but I think Dallas Goedert's actually going to go for 2 this Super Bowl, and I think he's going to wind up having more of an impact than most Eagles fans and most fans will think. That's just my opinion. Only because the Chiefs are very strong in the corner department with McDuffie. Safety-wise, not so good. So I think that Dallas Goedert will have a bigger game than most will suspect.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
I agree with that. I think the Chiefs' secondary is very suspect. First of all, they don't even have a guy that can really go one-on-one with AJ. Listen, if Marcus Lattimore...
McDuffie's the closest. That's it.
In my opinion. McDuffie's a better corner than Marcus Lattimore?
Lattimore's on the Commanders.
No, I'm just saying. Do you think he's better or worse than Lattimore?
Oh, I think he's better than Lattimore.
Yeah, he's definitely better.
But I don't think by too much, though. I don't think by too much.
I will say this. I'm okay if we trade Lattimore this offseason. Just saying.
All right. We're talking about the Commanders right now.
I also apologize, Maurice. I thought you were talking about Lattimore being on the Chiefs. I was like, wait, what are we? I was confused in my ability for a second. I was like, what is happening? Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, I think McDuffie is a little better than Lattimore. But I think A.J. Brown has the talent to beat him. No problem.
Mm-hmm. And then you leave it's wide open field for Devontae Smith.
Yes, and Dallas Goedert. I think both will eat.
So somebody is going to eat. Mm-hmm. It's just a matter of who. Like I said, I'm very confident in our defense. I didn't even mention Jalen Carter. He's a game breaker.
Yeah. Forgot about him.
And if they don't have a guy up in the middle, and Creed Humphrey is one of the best centers in the game, if not the best. So that's one guy right there. But Jalen Carter has pretty much had his way with every center. He pretty much gets double teamed every play. So once again, somebody on that defensive line has to eat. It was probably Milton Williams, Jordan Davis, Sweat, or Brandon Graham.
Who's going to be your starting edge rushers for the Super Bowl, you predict?
Sweat and Nolan Smith. Josh Sweat and Nolan Smith. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Nolan Smith has had a pretty good playoff run. Mm-hmm. so far. So
And Josh Sweat is just a huge body.
Yeah, he is.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, and he's going into a free agency, so he's playing for a contract.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no better inspiration to play for a contract than a Super Bowl.
You know, I've heard one guy who wants to be traded that might be linked to that could take over his spot. Just saying.
I'm eye rolling because it's probably going to happen.
But we'll talk about it when we get to the command.
For like a third round pick, but whatever.
Listen.
Are we going to fleece Cleveland like there's nobody's business and we're all going to crash out? So it's fine.
Listen, there's been some bad trades happening in the sports world the last couple of days. You can keep that ball rolling after the Super Bowl for sure. The last matchup is an important player that I need to highlight. And I'm not saving him for last because it's a position, but I think it might be a very important deal if the game's on the line, and that's Jake Elliott, the kicker.
He kind of needs to not stink like he's been this season. No,
I'm going to stay out of this conversation regarding kickers. Bye, y'all.
Oh yeah, okay. Mal doesn't believe in kickers right now.
So I don't believe in the kicking position. In kickers. I have no faith.
No faith.
Yeah. Understandable. He's been all over the place, and I just wouldn't trust Jake Elliott in a game-winning type of kick beyond 40. That's scary because he hasn't made a 50-yard field goal all season.
What do you think is the reason for the fall-off, though?
I just think it's his time.
I just think it's his time. Kickers
you don't have to raise your hand. You could say your piece.
Yeah, Becca, you can chime in whenever you want.
I think at a certain time with the kicker, it's about confidence. So honestly, I think he might have, after that one miss he had, his confidence might have shook him a bit. Where in terms of that, it's called the yips. So I think for him, especially being in a dome, it shouldn't be too much of a problem. But it's in the New Orleans, so there's some mythical voodoo that could occur. So who knows?
Oh, and by the way, I know it's not on the agenda, but I do want to just mention real quick. Regardless if you guys win or lose, you're going to lose your offensive coordinator.
That is true. Yeah.
Wait, did he get the job? He got it?
Well, they're not. They've told the other two people not. They've withdrawn, and they're not going to continue interviews until after the Super Bowl.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it's Kellen Moore's to lose.
To lose. Okay. Well.
Yeah. That might.
It hasn't really affected the Eagles that much, so whatever.
Well, yeah.
It really hasn't. Besides last year, but last year was a whole nother thing because you promoted from within. So that could always be a hit or miss. I saw a list.
But since college, Jalen Hurts has had 9 offensive coordinators.
I think Brian Dable was his offensive coordinator at one point.
Yeah,
freshman year of college.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he hasn't had the same OC for more than 2 years, which is kind of incredible because he's still been pretty good. I would say, even with we have different coordinators, different schemes, and all that. There's just new terminologies, and all this stuff goes into it. And a quarterback has to learn all that stuff. Unless you're like a Tom Brady, where the offense is you and you create the offense, basically, that's gonna hamper any progression for any quarterback to really, become the best version of themselves. So, might be a blessing in disguise. Never know with Kevin Moore.